you want them to have what they want as much as you would want it for yourself. That's the experience. That's how I would describe it. And so it can happen in a moment. It can happen over something that some might perceive as trivial, but the course has no measurement in these things. There are no trivial experiences. There's no trivial giving, whether you give an M&M or you give $1,000,000 or you give a hug or you give love, it's all the same. So that it's the matter of having that momentary experience of genuine love and giving, like you relate to them as yourself, you feel for them as yourself, and you want for them as if you would want for yourself. A teacher of God is anyone who chooses to be one. So it's not like only a handful of people have been specially ordained to be teachers of God. We're all teachers and we're all students, right? But a teacher of God, though we're all teachers, we're not always all teaching God, right? Or teaching love, or teaching peace, teaching joy, teaching true knowledge, right? A teacher of God is someone who's using their teaching ability, and we're always teaching, to teach love or teach the principle of God, which is love and giving, ever extending love. So a teacher of God is anyone who chooses to be one, and you can choose that in any moment. His qualifications consist solely in this: somehow, somewhere, he has made a deliberate choice in which he did not see his interests as apart from someone else's. And now, if you had this experience and you were conscious to it, you know you had it. It's like if I say to you, have you ever been in love? Or if you say to somebody, have you ever been in love? And they're like, well, I'm not sure. Then they haven't. I'm assuming most people here have had the experience of falling in love or being in love, right? There's no denying it, when you've had that experience, because you've had it, right? If you're not sure, then you probably haven't had it. But this qualification of a deliberate choice in which you do not see someone else's interests as apart from yours, like you want them to have what they want as much as you would want it for yourself. That's the experience. That's how I would describe it. And so it can happen in a moment. It can happen over something that some might perceive as trivial, but the course has no measurement in these things. There are no trivial experiences. There's no trivial giving, whether you give an M&M or you give $1,000,000 or you give a hug or you give love, it's all the same. So that it's the matter of having that momentary experience of genuine love and giving, like you relate to them as yourself, you feel for them as yourself, and you want for them as if you would want for yourself. And so your interests are not separate of theirs. And if you've had it, you know it. And I'm thinking of a time when I had it. I've shared this in here before, probably last time I read this, but I was probably, I don't know, 21, 20, 22, somewhere around there, going out with my two brothers, my younger brother and my older brother, going to a club in Long Beach Island, New Jersey, which was sort of our stomping grounds. And on the way, I was in the back seat. My older brother was driving. My younger brother was in the front passenger seat. I told them to stop and pull over at a 7-Eleven. I got out, was heading in to who knows what I was buying. I can't remember. But there was a girl at the time. There were pay phones at every convenience store. And this girl was at the pay phone, a young girl, probably around my age. And I could hear her audibly begging and pleading this person not to hang up. And I guess I just assumed it was a boyfriend or an ex, and they were having some challenge, and she was like crying, and I immediately just felt for her. And everything in me wanted to support or help her in some way, but she was a complete stranger, and I'm walking in the door, and all of a sudden she drops the phone and it's hanging, sort of dangling, and I just knew that she needed money for the payphone. So I'm already reaching in my pockets for change. And again, back in that day, I always had money in pocket. I don't do that anymore, and I had a bunch of change. I pulled it out and I immediately turned to her. I knew she was running in the store to get some change. And I opened my hand, had all this money. She just looked up at me like, what, where's this going? She opened her hands and I dumped it in there, and she just looked and ran back to the phone. And then I went in to the store. And as I'm coming out, she said thank you to me, like a heartfelt, like, thank you. Like, why did you do that? How did you know I needed that? And it was a really powerful moment. I felt like this crazy energy going on. And then I went in the car and both my brothers turned around, looked at me and were like, what was that? Like they could see something happening. They didn't know what they were seeing, but they could see it. It was really weird what I said to them. And I said, I don't know, but I think I know what it feels like, what it felt like for Jesus. And they were like, what? like, I don't know where I came up with that. It was before reading the course or anything like that, but I just sort of felt this just unadulterated giving, like I just wanted to give, right? So I feel like that's sort of the experience that this is talking about. It could be a momentary thing, something tiny, it could be something big, but when you have had that experience, you know you've had it.